Yes, people, welcome back to DR Sports. Welcome back to the Transfer Show, your morning transfer show every weekday to get the latest lowdown on what's happening in the January transfer window. I'm Dylan, and I'm going to be running you through what's happened, not just today, but on the weekend too. So last time we did this, it was Friday, but plenty of news has come out since then, and one of them is on Arsenal. So, according to the Football Insider, Everton are eyeing a move for Ben White, 28-year-old Ben White, to solve their problematic right-back issue. Now, Ben White, as we all know, a few seasons ago was one of Arteta's number one go-to guys. But amid the emergence of Timber and Arsenal's upgrading of defence in the last few years, Ben White's found himself frozen out a bit. And apparently, further to that, according to The Sun, Arsenal are also said to be monitoring Newcastle fullback Tino Livramento as a potential summer signing. So it seems as if here that Arsenal are waiting and building up for a change in right back. So Timber is obviously the first choice right back, and having Ben White, who's 28 and will be on good wages, may not be the best person to have as a backup for Timber. So it seems here as if Arsenal are looking to upgrade their reliability of the right back, because we all know that Ben White's had injury issues over the last few seasons, and then bring in someone younger, because it's no surprise that having brought in Hincapié, who's 23, Mosquera, who's 19, Arsenal have a fantastic defence, but they're already looking to bring in players who are younger and fitter and able to learn, and also would maybe be happy to have a squad role for now, whereas potentially taking over from Timber or from Saliba, from Gabriel in the future. So I would really, really keep an eye on Arsenal's right-back situation here, both in January and in the summer, because it feels like upgrades are needed and also wanted. But then going further up north, but also staying toward the top of the Premier League, is Aston Villa are reportedly exploring a deal to bring Conor Gallagher back to the Premier League this month. This is according to TalkSport, who claimed on Friday that Aston Villa are looking for Conor Gallagher because they want to be able to keep pace with Arsenal and with City at those in the top. Now, whether you think Villa are in a title race or not, who knows? But regardless, Villa will at the very least be looking at Champions League places. So they want to be able to bring in Champions League level players, of which Conor Gallagher is one, obviously with his experience in the Champions League and in La Liga and fighting for high positions in the table with Atletico Madrid, and also his previous experience at Chelsea and Crystal Palace within the Premier League. It could be a very, very good signing, and also one that not just Villa have been looking at, but Manchester United also looked at Conor Gallagher in the summer and submitted a loan bid for him at the last day of the summer transfer window last season. Although, according to the Daily Mail, Atletico would only consider offers of around £35 million for Gallagher, which this was reported even more recently. But also much will depend on the financial restrictions that Villa are currently working under, because another problem at Aston Villa that's been a problem for a while for Aston Villa has been that their wage bill take up a lot of the allowance they have under PSL, which is why the Harvey Elliott signing was initially a loan signing. Why, when they wanted to bring in another attacker, it was a loan from Jadon Sancho, again taking on a lot of his wages. So there is a lot of restrictions around Aston Villa, and so a possible deal for Gallagher at £35 million may be quite high. And then Team Talk on Sunday have also reported, and also other British outlets have reported this as well, that Tottenham are also interested in a move for Gallagher. Tottenham have their injury problems, they've got their Thomas Frank problems, they've got points problems, they can't seem to win a game, and obviously Aston Villa and Tottenham played each other in the FA Cup on Saturday. So there is a lot to take in here, and Tottenham need defensive solidarity. They need a midfielder. They need someone who will work and run. And also with Kudus out, they're looking for also someone who could add goals. And maybe they see Conor Gallagher as that man, but also Conor Gallagher's future at Atletico Madrid. He's not playing every week under Diego Simeone, by the way. There have been some rumblings in Spain in the last month or so, in the last few months, that he's not too happy with his game time, that he'd be open to a move back to England, but it needs to be the right move, and it needs to be, apparently, according to reports in Spain, a permanent move. So this is another one. I'd give it maybe a 5 or 6 out of 10 for now, but do keep an eye on Conor Gallagher's future, both with regards to Spurs and or Aston Villa, or even if Manchester United, let's say, sell Manu Ugarte and decide to bring in a new midfielder. It's definitely one to watch as the window continues. Then it's staying with Aston Villa, and on the topic of them wanting to stay up there with the Champions League spots is they are also apparently looking to recruit 28-year-old English striker Tammy Abraham, who obviously we know used to be at Aston Villa. He had a fantastic campaign with Aston Villa when he was younger, on loan from Chelsea. But Tammy Abraham is currently on loan at Besiktas from Roma this season. And in January, this is according to the Telegraph, so a very reliable source, saying that Aston Villa are looking to bring him in to add goals to their game. So obviously they have Daniel Marlon as a striker. They have Ollie Watkins as a striker who's really starting to hit form now. Morgan Rogers is having the season of his life so far, and he's being linked with Real Madrid and everything. Or even Ollie Watkins has said he feels that Morgan Rogers could play for Real Madrid and play as the number 10 starting for England in the World Cup under Thomas Tuchel. But Villa still want goals. They want reliability. They want, they trying to go through in the Europa League. They're trying to go through in the FA Cup. They're trying to win trophies. They're trying to stay in the top 4. They need options, especially with considering that second half of the season was when injuries really can occur. So they're looking at Tammy Abraham, according to the Telegraph, and given Tammy Abraham's previous links with Aston Villa and how loved he was there when he was there last time, when they had their championship campaign, I would also really, really keep an eye on this as a potential loan, or even maybe bring him back from Roma permanently. But then staying more in the Midlands, Dominic Szoboszlai, obviously one of Liverpool's better players this season in what has been an iffy campaign so far, has apparently reached an agreement in principle to extend his contract at Liverpool, having rejected interest from both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. Now, this is according to Court Offside. So Liverpool fans, I would suggest maybe waiting for someone else to claim this as well, or some other reports, maybe Paul Joyce from the Times, to come out and say this. But according to Court Offside, British reports, Dominic Szoboszlai has reached an agreement in principle to extend his contract with Liverpool. And going just east to Manchester, there's been even more news, as has been in the last week or so, on both interim and permanent replacements for Ruben Amorim, who was sacked 1 week ago today. So according to the Mirror, Thomas Tuchel, Carlo Ancelotti and Mauricio Pochettino are all on Manchester United's shortlist to become their next manager. United are reportedly really gunning for Premier League experience when it comes to their next manager. So obviously Ancelotti, Chelsea and Everton. Thomas Tuchel, also at Chelsea. Mauricio Pochettino, also at Chelsea, but then also his best time was at Tottenham. Is apparently United really want Premier League experience, and these 3 managers, according to the Mirror and multiple other reports, are on their shortlist. It's not just them. Other names have been mentioned, such as Kieran McKenna, and there's been names abroad like, who's the Germany manager? Nagelsmann as well. He's a personal favourite of mine. Obviously, I'm a United fan. Personal favourite of mine. But those seem to be the managers that United want and are looking at the most, with the Premier League experience a key aspect of what United are looking for. But and then on a more temporary basis, United are looking to hire a interim manager, a caretaker manager till the end of the season. And reports from late on Sunday evening have suggested that Michael Carrick has become the favourite for the interim job over Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and that the club could announce this as early as today. In the next 48 hours, it will definitely be announced, with United's players coming back to training on Wednesday. So not Tuesday, not tomorrow, but Wednesday morning is when they'll return to training. And club chiefs, according to basically every single major outlet out there, want the new interim boss, the new caretaker boss, in place for Wednesday morning training. So that could be announced today, that could be announced tomorrow. No final decision is made yet, but it's looking like Michael Carrick is going to be the caretaker manager for United until the end of the season. Obviously, he's had experience with Middlesbrough. He was there from between 2022 to 2025 with Middlesbrough. There's conflicting reports about just, how well Carrick did there, because ultimately they were playing some great football, but they never quite made it into the top 6, which is where United want to be in the Premier League. Obviously, Middlesbrough in the Championship, looking for promotion and looking to get the playoff spots. But Michael Carrick, who's obviously played at the club for years, a club legend, 12 years at the club, was assistant on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, managed the club for 3 games after Solskjaer's sacking, 1-2 and drew 1, including a 1-1 draw away against Chelsea. But he seems to be the guy they're looking for, and the guy who will replace Darren Fletcher as interim boss until the end of the season. And finally, sticking on Manchester United, Barcelona, according to The Athletic, have reportedly informed Marcus Rashford that they plan to keep him beyond this summer. So Barcelona have a £26 million option to buy Marcus Rashford this summer, and they just beat Real Madrid in Saudi Arabia in the Spanish Cup final, beating them 3-2 in what was an absolutely mad game. Rafinha get the winning goal. Marcus Rashford, first trophy with Barcelona. Barcelona want to keep him, but obviously wages will be an issue because Marcus Rashford's wages are very, very high because he's still on loan from Manchester United at the moment. But £26 million looks like it will be in the bank of Manchester United in the summer, with Barcelona signing Marcus Rashford permanently. Apart from that, that's pretty much all the transfer news and manager news and everything that came out across the weekend. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you again on Tuesday for more transfer news. Peace.